Yesterday, photos of D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry surfaced from a recent workout they participated in. D'Angelo Russell landed in Golden State after a sign-and-trade from the Nets that'll earn him $117 million over the next 4 years. His former Nets teammate Jared Dudley, now with the Lakers, told The Athletic, D'Angelo wanted to get the max, so I'm not surprised. He would have gone to, Saudi Arabia if he could have gotten the max there. I'm not surprised that he took that. So, Dave, are the Warriors the best place for D'Angelo, who had a breakout season last year?
Absolutely, because him staying in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving was wrought with potential problems. And this gets him into a place where it's a clear franchise that has a vision from top to bottom, from Bob Myers through Steve Kerr, through the players they have there. Whether he's there for the entirety of this contract doesn't really matter. He's going to benefit from playing alongside Steph Curry, learning how he treats his body, how he preps in practice, the type of drills he does to be able to just shoot that way. And so this is all a net positive. And Brooklyn was a perfect situation for him. He went being kind of damaged goods, getting there with his reputation hurt, going out the door with the Lakers, became a leader on a playoff team, and got paid for it. And so it's all gravy for him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he was able to really reconstruct his image when he was in Brooklyn. He was able to sort of take a step back, and they had a really scrappy, fun, talented team that they put together last year. Now, going to the Warriors, I think that they have the right culture to absorb D'Angelo Russell into. I think he stands to learn a lot from Steph Curry. And with Klay Thompson out, it'll be interesting to see, for at least the first half of the season, what they kind of decide to do with, will they experiment with them on the court at the same time at any point. And I think it is a good place for him to land, especially when, there were rumblings of, will he end up on the Lakers? And that's the place where things didn't go so well for him, especially in the locker room. So I'm glad to see that he worked out to go to a really culturally positive place like the Warriors.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you both. Culture matters. I think that there's a reason why certain organizations do well at producing good players, even whether they're, star-level type guys or G League type guys, and they develop them into the players that they need for their particular organization. But I also think as you grow older, there's accountability, right? And different steps in accountability and maturity. And his maturation process, as you pointed out, Dave, particularly from the time he's with the Lakers, which we all know how that all ended, Kenny Atkinson held him accountable. And he showed the maturity there with Brooklyn. Now, this is a new class. This is like a master's course in accountability now with a championship-type organization and with a guy like Steph and Draymond, who we know will hold him accountable. All right, so which backcourt would you rather have right now? Dame and CJ and their new deals, or Steph and D'Lo? Malika?
I think that up in Portland, they have that chemistry going. They have something that they have they figured it out up there. I think that says something, especially in a Western Conference where there's been so many changes made to the core, to different cores. It means something to be returning your core. And so I think that Dame and CJ are in a really great position.
See, I was going to pick Portland and then figure I'd be labeled as a Steph hater again. But since you picked Portland also, it
hop on
kind of
my
cuts
bandwagon
on the hate. So, I mean, I got to go with Dame and CJ. They've proven how well and effective they can play together with one another. We haven't seen it yet between these two guys. And I also feel like Dame and CJ have a little bit different skill sets. Not that D'Angelo and Steph are identical players, but I think a little bit more overlap there between those two than Dame and CJ.
See, I don't agree with that part of it. Look, I think that clearly we all know how good Steph can be. He's a two-time MVP, right? So the question is about D'Angelo Russell, and he's not there yet. We just talked about him kind of growing, right? The maturation process, accountability. He's still learning in that regard, whereas CJ and Dame, they are formed individuals at this point. We know what they are, and we know how good that they can be together. So I think just on that, there's no hating there. That's just, a practical, reasonable response because we don't know what these two guys will look like together. But what I'll push back on is I don't know if their skill sets are all that similar. I think that D'Angelo Russell is an excellent pick and roll type of player. I mean, Steph has shown the ability to do that, but I don't feel like that's his game. I do think it'll be fascinating to see how Steve Kerr manages kind of their motion offense versus maximizing D'Angelo Russell, who's excellent in the pick and roll. So I do think there's some variation there.
I just feel like CJ is more of a off-ball offensive player than either of those two are.
Oh, I agree with that,
That's
yes.
where I feel like there's more of a natural fit between Dame and CJ than D'Angelo and Steph. And perhaps, I think both those guys, obviously Steph the best shooter of all time, but I like D'Angelo's shot a lot as well. So maybe one of them will fall into the role of being off the ball more.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.